Hey guys, what's up? Scottish Duck here once again. Right, before we begin, I want to say thank you to my friend Ian for lending me this game because, fucking hell, April was a busy month, okay? We had fucking Yakuza 6, we had Ni no Kuni 2, and we had this, and I was definitely more keen to pick up those first two games than I was God of War for the PS4. So, yeah, I'm gonna talk about this. Now, okay, apologies for this, because I'm gonna start off this little review with a rant, because, fuck it, that's what we do on YouTube, isn't it? This game has been getting, like, really, really good reception, you know, and it's, I guess because it's, like, a first-party Sony title, it's really become a sort of, like, a thing to gather around. For fans of PlayStation and all that, because it's been so well received and because it's getting a sort of like untouchable vibe for it and stuff. You know, it's like this game can do no wrong. But on the flip side, you have like people who roll the fuck out of their eyes at the look of this game because it's like, oh my god, everybody's going nuts about it. People are saying things about it that you can apply to like games in the past. Like I've seen all those tabloid fucking clickbait article titles, you know, like God of War's first game to have emotions. I think there was one like that. It's like, holy shit, Yakuza 6 came out in the same fucking month. So, yeah, there's, that's the vibe I get. I feel like there's a sort of divide between, folk that are enjoying the game and kind of rally behind it and folk that are just like dissing it because it does have the reputation that it does. So I don't want to think I'm on either side, but I'm sure many of you want to know, what did I think of this game? Well, I'm sure someone somewhere won't like my answer regardless of what I say, so I'll just be fucking honest. I absolutely fucking loved this game. It was really, really, really good. I was very surprised, you know? And yeah, just the, I guess just the thought that, again, like I said, some folk are hearing me say that, rolling their eyes, potentially already typed in the comments, calling me a pony, which is apparently like a Sony fanboy, I don't know. You know, you can't have like a strong opinion either way about this game, basically. Maybe I'm being over the top about it, maybe I should just like shut the fuck up and talk about the actual game, but it's fascinating. I kind of do find it fascinating that, you know, when a game comes out and people can't like shut up about it and basically just enjoy, you have to bring the stuff around it. I mean, it's all about context, and obviously I've probably done something similar before. I don't know. I guess it's just because I have seen such extreme examples on either side that I feel the need to bitch right here, right now. But you know what? Fuck it. I really like this game. Let's just jump right in. But yeah, God of War, I should say the series that I have been like playing since I think I came into the series around God of War 3. They released like the HD collection of God of War 1 and 2. Which, if I'm not mistaken, when it came to like these sort of HD collections that were definitely popular around the 7th generation, God of War 1 and 2 was kind of the first one. Am I right in saying that? I think so. I don't know, but it was a very early. It was one of the games that kind of kicked off the HD collection phase, I think. And yeah, I played through God of War 1 and 2 on that before God of War 3 came out. And then I played God of War 3 when that came out, and they're good games. They're really, really good games, you know. I always thought since day one, right, that God of War was kind of just like a Devil May Cry clone. That's just how I thought. Obviously, I see what, like, the game series does that Devil May Cry doesn't. You know, I respect its, like, story, its main character, the setting that it's trying to tell its story in. All that, it's got its own identity. You know, it's very... it nails that, basically. Funnily enough, I was just thinking about this. The first God of War game I did play was Chains of Olympus for the PSP, which was the first of the two PSP God of War games. And I remember that was actually the game that I think I played that near enough when it came out, you know, before God of War 3 came out, and I think that was the game that sort of got me interested, because I really did like that one. Never played Ghost of Sparta, and never played Ascension, although I don't think many people have played Ascension. Ascension, people don't talk about that game. Is that game good? I really don't know. Nobody talks about it. It's mental. But yeah, that's kind of like my opinion on the series. And I guess one thing that should be said about it, and is that God of War was always kind of a little... fuck, what's a good expression for this? It was basically something Sony always ran to. You know, it was like this big... It was a pretty big franchise, you know, they pretty much would always like make games for it, even when the trilogy was concluded, whether they were necessary or not. You know, I remember thinking when the sequel to the PSP game came out, it's like, really, we need another one of these? And the same with Ascension, for that matter. So when they announced this one, and it was going to be like a soft reboot, and I remember it was like, was it E3? I can't remember what E3 it was that they showed it. But, you know, you see Kratos cutting about in Midgard, because they switched to Norse mythology, which I'll touch on in a minute, and he's got a kid with him. And me and probably a lot of other people saw that and immediately thought, oh shit, they just want to make Last of Us. Because Last of Us was, like, you know that, like, the way I was describing God of War at the beginning of this video, how it kind of has that sort of, like, impact on people who keep constantly talking about it. Last of Us was definitely in the same category. And I was one that didn't really like Last of Us. It didn't click with me. I was actually thinking, because I really like God of War, and why didn't I like The Last of Us? From a story standpoint, obviously, there are other big differences between this game and The Last of Us. But I think this is the answer I've come up with, and I don't know if I'm completely sold on this, but it's what I'll say now. The thing about The Last of Us, it's double act, that being like Joel and Ellie. When I play that game, I immediately knew who these characters were, okay? Joel was immediately established as like this guy with a lot of loss and was just like super gruff, even though deep down he's not like the worst guy ever, but he's never gonna like smile and blah blah blah, and always be haunted by his past, blah blah blah. And Ellie was just like this spunky kid who pretty much would always like be in the right, I guess you could say, like would always just be like this source of happiness and optimism. And yeah, I just saw those characters and I'm like, I know that's what they're going to be like, and from what I played for the game, I was right. I didn't get Kratos and Atreus. I kept feeling like I was getting more and more attached to them as I was going through, even though fucking Kratos, I played the first 3 games. I know what Kratos is. Kratos is an arsehole, okay? He destroys the world, you know? He kills so many innocent folk. It was honestly quite jarring to just see him suddenly with a kid, you know? But I guess the thing about that is that Kratos was always drawn this way because he lost his family. You know, he lost his wife, his daughter. He fucking killed them. Spoilers, by the way. Just not for God of War PS4, but for the original trilogy, I'll say. And yeah, here's Kratos now. He's had like a life in Midgard. He's had a new family, and I guess this is his time to heal. I don't know. At first, it definitely like froze you off. It's like, no, I don't trust this guy. He's the God of War through and through. He's gonna crack or something. And I'm not going to say he doesn't or he does, but I kept, like, I was always intrigued as where it was going. I didn't see where it was going. You know, same with, like, Atreus' sort of story arc as well. There was a lot of twists, turns, and I dug that. I really did, in comparison to The Last of Us, you know? So yeah, story-wise, it was very feelsy. A lot of like emotional moments, you know, all the stuff you've read in the clickbait articles. I really bought into the relationship between Atreus and Kratos. I even, by the end of it, bought into the idea that Kratos could exist in both Greek mythology and Norse mythology. Because I remember just thinking, should they really coexist? It just was kind of weird to me, but you know, it worked, and there was one really cool fan servicey moment I want to say. I'm about halfway through the game, calling back to the original trilogy. That even despite not being the biggest fan, I do enjoy the previous God of War games, but I actually did give me chills. It was like, oh shit, this is it. It's like felt like you were going back and stuff. It was quite cool. It really was. So yeah, I almost want to make the argument that you didn't have to make this God of War, but it's pretty obvious why they did. God of War. They're not gonna like make a whole new IP because this game fucking looks pricey. The presentation is absolutely 10 out of 10. It is insane. I mean, my PS4 Pro was like super loud when I was running the game. No other game has ever done that. It just looks expensive to the point that it's like, how when you go into like a big expensive looking house or expensive looking shop, there's always that level of anxiety. It's like, oh fuck, I hope I don't get anything dirty. Okay, maybe not exactly like that, but the fact of the matter is you just look at it and you're like, someone spent like so much time making this game. There was so much attention to every single detail. So much money was probably spent on it. And indeed, I've watched some like interviews with the creative director. What was his name again? Fuck, I can't mind. But he's been not shy of talking about how awful the development was for this game, and I can kind of see it. I really can. But thankfully, in that regard, it really does pay off because, yeah, presentation from just like the way Kratos looks, he just looks unbelievable, and as does like the world, and it's massive. It's a well-presented game. Can I just leave it at that? It's a well-presented game, okay? Even no matter how much you fucking hate it, you gotta give it that. You really do. And the switch from like Greek mythology to Norse mythology was honestly quite welcome as well. They really do take advantage of the... I know the names, like obviously I don't live under a rock. I've seen Thor, from Marvel and stuff, so I know the names from that, which I'm imagining is how most people will also. So yeah, that's... it's just cool to be introduced to it in this different sort of light, basically. But yeah, I got sidetracked when I was talking about the story there. The story was really good. I really liked Atreus and Kratos and all the other characters. Not spoiling, but the final boss in particular was amazing. In terms of like just... I'm gonna sound like this is gonna sound so cliche, but it was really emotional, Like, the characters that are involved in the final boss fight, the sort of shit that they're all going through is so polarizing and so just like I was just glued to it, And yeah, the game does a good job there. Okay, enough praising how it looks and how the story is and all that. Okay, how does it play? Well, it's Zelda. Okay, I haven't seen anybody else make that comparison, but as I play it, I'm saying it's fucking Zelda. Okay, it's kind of like a traditional 3D Zelda. Before Breath of the Wild, it was that sort of like formula that people today would like scoff at because it's super linear. It's like, oh my god, I can't do this dungeon before this dungeon. Oh, unbelievable, eh? Why would they even design it like that? It's fucking awful. Sorry, that really rubs me the wrong way. It's Ocarina of Time is not linear. Are you fucking mental? Anyway, the game is pretty much structured in the same way. You have like what is basically dungeons that have puzzles in them, and games with environmental puzzles are the best type of games. I'm just gonna say that right now. And you also have essentially a Hyrule Field, which is like a place where you can access all the different areas in the game, and that you will return to as the game goes on with new abilities, and you can then access new areas with said new abilities. So yeah, it really, from a design standpoint, it really is like Zelda, and I'm surprised nobody else has brought this up yet. Combat is obviously going to be like super important in a God of War game, and it's really good. It was really hard for me at first. I was dying all the time. I don't know what it was. It was just I just got my ass kicked. But I'd like to think that I got good, and I was able to adapt to some of the strategies you partake, as well as like utilizing Atreus in combat, who really adds an extra layer to combat, you know, like, he's a very valuable asset with his shooting arrows and reviving you when you die and stuff. It's good stuff there. My only nitpick, and this is something that's always been a bit of a pet peeve of mine, it's not exclusive to God of War. I can think of games like Bayonetta where this bugs me. I hate games where you have to unlock abilities as you go through the game, because it's not that I don't it's not that I hate what am I trying to say here? It's not that I would prefer he be given all these abilities at the beginning of the game. It's just that I unlock an ability, which is something like go into aim mode and then hold down the triangle button while barehanded to do this. I fucking forget about it. I fucking forget about the ability that I've unlocked, because when I'm in combat, all I'm fucking doing is mashing buttons, you know? This is a God of War game, goddammit. I'm not remembering all this shit. So yeah, it was hard to remember abilities. That was really my only issue with the combat, and as a result, I just button mashed. And I got through the game just fine, but I wonder how much of the depth of combat I wasn't experiencing because of that, you know? Other than that, the game is quite lengthy. You know, this was another thing I'm thinking of. We're kind of past the era where, you remember how last generation it was kind of normal for a game to come out, a brand new game, and to be like 8 or 7 or 6 hours or something. Like, take God of War 3. You know, that's like a 7-hour game or something, and you know, it's not overly long, and that was kind of the norm back then. But you compare it to this game, which is like a good 20-hour game or something, regardless of how it's designed, it's still like really lengthy, and loads of side content, which admittingly I didn't even properly fucking experience. Like, there was a whole realm dedicated to like a gauntlet arena fight thing where you would like go through various trials. There was also a dungeon that I didn't do, which was basically Dark Souls, because you were going through like poisonous mist the whole time, and you had to like bide your time in it and do it as quickly as possible. There was loads of optional boss fights and side quests, and it's pretty heavy on content. You know, I really got to give it that as well. No multiplayer. I don't know what point I was trying to make with that. I guess I'm just bitter about the fact that for like the 4th time in my gaming life, the subject of our single-player games on the way out is coming into question, even though every single time it gets brought up, it's always proven wrong, and we're only having this conversation because fucking Call of Duty's decided to ditch its single-player for fucking Battle Royale. Maybe I'll make a whole video on that. Okay, long story short, I really like this game, you know. I would recommend anybody give it a try. You know, regardless if you've like fallen into the hype or you're drawn away because of the hype, it's really good. I enjoyed it. That's really the main thing, I gotta say. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there and see you after. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.